I should mention, all systems are go. We can start anytime.
Yeah. So we start now.
I mean, come on, we've done this gimmick too many times already.
Looking for last minute inspiration from Facebook. None. Facebook is a cesspool. What?
What the fuck?
The shit?
Sorry, that was my buddy screaming.
And on that note,
Oh my
welcome
god.
to Dia.Log, the Gaming Matters Podcast, episode 29.
Episode 29. Holy shit.
Random people screaming. Now,
Random
no.
people screaming edition.
We should put a soundboard of random people screaming on the background. Oh my god, film and flashbacks. Introducing the panel. We have one Amirul, Wam, say hello.
Wamu.
Next we have Danial, say hello.
Hello.
And of course we have Anan over there, say hello.
Kono dia dah.
And I am Amirul Bekronos Ashraf, and I have no idea of what JoJo reference to do, so I shall mention that only. So, yeah.
Your JoJo reference is JoJo reference.
My JoJo reference is questioning is that JoJo reference, which has been questioned a few times, and we've done the recursive thing. And so, what do we have to talk about this episode?
I think we spend a lot of time talking on this podcast. We never asked the audience how they're doing. How are you guys? Oh, that's really cool. Cool. Okay, so now back onto this show.
Man,
Dora.
I got Dora and Blue's Clues flashbacks, man. I can't believe I was screaming at the TV for quite some time before I realized, oh, of course they cannot listen, god. Anyway, so what do you guys do the past 2 weeks? Who wants to start first? Who wants to be on the bet?
Well, wait, do we have any follow-up from last week, though? First off.
None whatsoever.
That
This
is,
podcast is severely lacking in follow-up.
there's some in the news, some stuff that we hinted at that we're going to talk about, but that will be reserved for later. Any new stuff for now?
Well, I guess no, we do have one piece of follow-up. Meck, how's the laptop?
Okay. I was going to avoid that, but here we go. The Acer Predator Triton 500. The review is up, and I have spent an excessively amount of time playing games on that laptop. I have, I guess Acer has basically, what you say, how do you put it into words? I've put 40 hours into Warframe. Acer has enabled my Warframe addiction. That's the one I want to say. So thank you, I guess, Acer, for the opportunity to try the best looter shooter around for free.
The most important question: how did it hold up on the Le Mans?
The Le Mans test, yes.
Yeah.
The Le Mans 24 hours test. So basically, for you guys who are not aware, the way we do battery tests is that we put on YouTube a video of the Le Mans 24 hours endurance race. There's a full 25 hours of footage on YouTube. I put that on full screen, and on the brightest of display, I leave it there on the side, and it clocked around 4 hours and a half.
4 hours and a half?
Uh-huh,
It's not bad.
Not bad. And average usage is estimated around 8 hours, so that's a stress test. And I think it's okay. It's doing okay with the batteries. Apparently, I have discovered that you know how we have some concerns about the heat? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do not use the laptop on your left at all. That thing gets hot. Not kind of
So
hot.
we're not going to see little mechs in the future.
Mm, oh, hey, that is still working. I can assure you of that. But the thing is, if you put in on ultra for like extended sessions for gaming like 4 to 5 hours, it will be going. The system temperature goes up to 90 degrees Celsius. So do not play on a hot day. Put an aircon on. Put a laptop cooler stand or something on top, and then you should
Don't
be
put
fine.
laptop on your balls.
Oh no, never. Especially with an laptop with an RTX. This thing is hot.
Maybe invest in the new controller, perhaps.
But it's not hot on the surface. I mean, if you put on your fingertips the WASD, that's the coolest part of the of the surface. The palm rest gets a bit. You can feel some warmth there, but the WASD no problems, no scalding whatsoever. That's good to know. Other than that, I think the Triton 500 is a good deal if you're looking for an RTX laptop at the time. At this time, it is one of the cheapest of the RTX laptops you have. But by cheap, I mean 6,799 ringgit cheap. It's premium basically.
It's premium cheap.
Yeah, for a premium tier, it's cheap. So I guess I have to just mention the the thing on the docket, which is I was just gonna talk about the quick buying guide on a new gaming laptop. If you are in the business, in the how you put it, if
In
you
the
are
market
looking
for-
in the market for a new laptop, yes, that's the word. Uh,
WTB.
Here's my recommendations. First, just look at the CPU, GPU, RAM, and storage. This is the 4 pillars of how good your game will run. Look at CPU. Is it i5 or i7? Doesn't matter. Look at the generation. It should be Gen 8. You know this by looking at i5 dash, then dash, and then you will see the number
The first
next to it.
yeah, the
The first
first
number.
number.
The first of the 4 numbers. It should be 8 there. 8 gen is okay. Don't matter if it's a higher or lower variant between there. But just consider that i7 is mostly useful if you use a lot of multimedia use, creative use, as in you render videos or you play strategy games. That's CPU intensive stuff. You can totally play on an i5. The laptop, the Triton 500 is running at 144 FPS or Warframe on an i5. Doesn't matter.
Oof.
AMD should be have the same nomenclature, Ryzen 5 and Ryzen 7. So you'll know the tiers lah. 5 is mid-range, 7 is the higher range. What else? GPU. Okay, right now, as I said, RTX is not really something that everyone should buy right now. Even though Nvidia really wants everyone to buy right now. Because
How dare you? Nvidia said I need a RTX.
no, I mean, to be fair, the RTX is basically a big step up. I think that the performance of the RTX 2060 is comparable, if not better, than the GTX 1070. Anan, can you confirm that?
Sorry. Can you say it again?
The RTX 2060's base
Yeah.
performance should be comparable or if not better than GTX 1070.
Yes.
Ooh.
So that
Oh,
is
it may be touched on 1080. In fact.
and that explains the pricing lah, which is like what, 1,000 ringgit step higher than usual when you expect from a laptop. So that's the thing. And RTX games, at least for now, at the time of this recording, there are still only 4 games with RTX on. Anthem, Battlefield 5, Metro Exodus, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. If you don't have these 4 games, well, you're not using RTX. The extra cost, I guess. So, if you want to invest in the future, fine. But if you want to get a good value, wait a bit. Let's wait for the GTX 1660 cards. The non-RTX versions. coming for laptops. As for AMD, the RX 560 is decent, but that's like entry level to okay. No, entry level to mid range level of good. Maybe find a 570, but it's a bit rare to find these days lah, because there are not many AMD laptops around with high performance in Malaysia at least. RAM, never go for 4 gig RAMs. It should be
Never.
8 gig minimum. Never. Windows 10 runs like crap on 4. And apparently I've discovered that some retailers, that if you looking for to buy a laptop that is set up with 4 gigs, they'll recommend you to upgrade to 8. So minimum is 8. If you can upgrade to 16, that's future proof. Storage, if you can see the HDD speed, if it's just 5400 RPM, that's going to be a bit trouble because it's pretty slow. Recommended is 7200 RPM. If it has SSD, nice. Even like 128 gig or SSD is fine, because you just need Windows to run on the fastest thing. You do not want a Windows 10 running on a 5400 RPM hard disk. No, bad experience. That's the biggest reason why people upgrading to Windows 10 thinks it's lagging and wants to downgrade back to Windows 7. That's the biggest reason. And the rest are stuff that you need to look into review. Is the screen big enough? The screen has good response or not? Is it hot? Those stuff are very subjective. You cannot just look at the spec sheet. Also, the best value for money you can get for a gaming laptop should be starting at 4,000 to around the range of 4,000 to 5,000. Should be nice. That's the nice sweet spot for value. Above that is premium. Above 8,000 is ridiculous. Don't throw that much money, man. Don't throw.
The Ultra Premium Deluxe.
That Ultra Premium Deluxe Collector Edition. And 3,000 and lower are basically entry level. Entry level, which basically saying that you can run Dota and the rest of those sort of games, but not much else. Don't expect to play Witcher 3 on there. So there you go. I guess that's the rundown of the laptop guys that I need to do.
Yeah, sounds like if you're looking for a new laptop, then that's a very conclusive way to figure out like what's a good laptop for you.
Yeah, because I keep on getting asked, oh Mac, what's a good laptop? Okay, first budget. Below 3,000. Oh, okay, we we have to talk, because a lot of my friends are not really that much of a gamer, but they really want to think of what's a good gaming laptop right now, but that's not too pricey. The fact is, it will always be pricey. It will always be, but there's a sweet spot for that. You don't have to spend like 8,000. No, that's just ridiculous.
I get the same questions too at uni. My classmates like to come up to me and go like, "Hey, like like can you tell me like what good computer to buy?" I'm like, dude, I fucking use a Mac. What makes you think I know what a good computer is?
Aduh.
Yeah, so there you go.
That's laptops, huh?
That's laptop talk.
So-
we can totally move on.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like this segment of the podcast is usually where we talk about games, right? We talk about the games we've been playing and all that stuff. I have not played shit in the past 2 weeks. I mean, I played Devil May Cry, but I don't have anything more to say about Devil May Cry than has already been said about Devil May Cry.
Just one quick question. Bloody Palace, good.
Yo. Bloody Palace is good. It's just it's not co-op like we were hoping.
Okay.
Sad.
But it added something that I forgot I wanted, which is so it's a wave-based thing. You clear waves and then add to your score timer, which goes up the better you do.
Alright.
So you can replay any mission that any floor that you've already cleared in the warm-up mode. which means that Devil May Cry 5, assuming you are good enough to unlock it, now has the boss rush mode because you can fight all the individual bosses as any character.
Oh, cool. Boss rush mode. That's a good way to put it. Alright. Cool.
But you have to clear the floor in Bloody Palace first.
Hmm.
Also, you can pause your challenge now, like in case you have to go out or whatever. You can suspend and come back and do the thing. So people have said that they save scum it, where they if they fail the thing, they delete their save data on the PS4 and then re-download the old data from the cloud and then
My God.
that's too much work for me, so I'm not doing that. But yeah, and you get a new taunt for each of the 3 characters if you can clear all 101 floors. And you also get 3 million red orbs for completing it,
Oh
which
my
gets
God.
you it's just enough to buy you the EX taunt from the store, so you're going to have to clear Bloody Palace like 3 times if you want to get the achievement for unlocking everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I haven't done shit this past 2 weeks. Thankfully, you know what I have been doing? I got into Ultraman.
Ultraman.
To be specific, I got into the new manga, the new from 2013 one, the one with the mecha suit Ultraman, because I wanted to read it before the new Netflix series came out. Netflix series just came out like 3 days ago as of this recording.
Mm.
The manga is great. You know, it's like the art is gorgeous, the plot is actually quite interesting. So what the hell happened with the Netflix show? Ugh.
Typical Hollywood.
It follows the manga more or less, tapi macam tak ada style. You know?
Huh.
Like it just feels dull. It's despite the fact like things are happening from the manga, like the plot, it's not 1-to-1 from the manga, contrary to what some people on Tumblr said. But they've changed a few things. They do the Iron Man face close up where they show the face inside the helmet with the HUD over it and everything.
Oh shit, now you put it
I
that way. I didn't realize Ultraman is basically Japanese Tony Stark. Well, not really, but reductively, you can think it like that.
the
Ultraman is
new one
Japanese.
is, yeah. The new one is especially like it's very heavily based off of Iron Man, like the way the suit works and stuff.
Yeah, not talking
And
about
then-
Ultraman Taro. Those are very different.
Oh, there is a Taro character in the manga.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So like all the other characters wearing Ultraman suits are all like loosely based off of other Ultraman. My favorite is the guy who pilots the Ultraman version 7. You know, sneakily looks like Ultra 7. His name is also Dan Moroboshi. So he is my favorite character because one, his suit looks like a fucking knight suit,
Oh god,
he's got a
it
sword.
is. Okay,
And
I'm seeing now.
secondly, he's a fucking asshole, and I love him. He and I don't want to spoil the manga, but like he literally like he is a great character when he's first introduced, and he progressively gets better as the manga goes on. I haven't reached the part with him in the Netflix show yet because it's really like I just cannot get through it, if that makes any sense. Also, because like the facial animation is really weird, and the fact that they keep doing the helmet cut in, the view from inside the helmet thing makes it even worse because now I have to look at this guy's face plastered on a screen. God fucking damn it. I'm just because it's not in the manga. That's the worst part. It's not in the manga. The manga doesn't do the face cutaways. It's just come on, man. Like you you design the Ultraman suit to look so cool, and then you have to cut away the helmet. And there's this bit in like I think the 5th episode, yeah, where because his identity is supposed to be secret, but because he just beat the big bad, like he's on the floor and his helmet is off, and there are people around, but apparently no one sees him.
Okay.
And they added this thing like that's not in the manga where he can like teleport his suit over him. Because that's an actual plot point in the manga is that he can't do that. Is that he needs to run back to base, put on the suit, and come back out. But at least he has a magical girl transformation now. I've been talking over this with my brother. I think part of the reason I'm being so harsh on the new Ultraman series is because I watched Gridman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was
So-
thinking about that too.
For those of you, if you really like old school tokusatsu stuff, watch SSSS Gridman, like from last season. It is amazing, and it's mostly in 2D. I think the Gridman segments are in 3D. I can't tell. I know there's some CG portions of it, anyways, but it looks great. It feels great. Not like this. And it's even worse because the manga is so good. Like I should send you some panels from the manga later to put in the video version of this podcast because the art is fucking amazing. And I may or may not want to buy a model kit of the new Ultra 7. Just saying, because he looks really fucking good. And the model kit kind of does him justice.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the model kits. Yeah, pretty good. It looks really good, and I think I need to pick this up. I mean the manga.
It's a yeah. The manga's really good. It's about like 70 chapters in right now. Funny enough, Cash previously on this podcast, he got me into the Ultraman manga. He was like, no, dude, don't bother. Like, I don't know about the Netflix show, but read the manga. You'll appreciate it more. And I was like, okay, cool. Now I'm just like, Cash, I have caught up to the manga. We need to talk about the latest chapter. And he's like, I haven't caught up yet. No, dude.
The people becomes the master.
You cannot compete with someone who has like 6 months free, and so can binge read manga in one go. God damn. So no context spoilers. Speaking of the Ultra 7 suit, so his whole thing is the guy doesn't have superpowers, right?
Right.
Unlike the main character. So his suit has to constantly get upgrades to compete. And one of the upgrades is the most Warframe shit ever, where he's just like, I'm gonna get 2 giant laser cannons. That's the whole upgrade.
You know what, Wam? Now I know why I'm liking the things I see so far.
It looks like a Warframe, right?
Exactly. You know when I saw Ultra 7, when you say Ultra 7, I look at it. My first thought is that Excalibur.
He doesn't look that much like
I don't
Actually, he
know.
looks more like Vauban, but
I mean,
because of the...
I saw it from the side. There's one side where he pulls up the sword.
Yeah, that's the
something,
iconic Ultra 7 pose, yeah. This Ultra 7, not the old Ultra 7.
Yeah, this
have
one.
to say though. Oh, no, go on your thing.
No, I saw this one pose of the model. There's just a big sword on there. There's just a big sword. It looks good. I'll share it to you guys around.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
he gets
That
2
looks
of them
cool.
later on in the manga.
Oh my god. What a powerful pose.
Yeah, and
He's
he's
like a Blame manga.
like a what manga?
Blame. Manga by Blame.
Oh, I have no idea. But yeah, the new Ultraman suits all look really good. What's this? I'm just upset that the Netflix series is just kind of dull, especially because Netflix has a lot of Studio Trigger anime. So I've been wondering why we haven't gotten Gridman yet. What the fuck? Netflix? Can we get the Gridman, please? Because I would happily just binge watch Gridman over and over again. That was such a great anime. Watch Gridman, guys. It's great. It's on Crunchyroll. Go do that. I was like at dinner with my family yesterday, like big family event. And my brother and I always talk weeb shit at these family events so that no one talks to us.
Excellent tactics.
So I was like, oh yeah, how much is the Gridman Figma? Because when we were in Japan, they only had it on display, but it wasn't available for pre-order or anything yet. So I opened up my phone and I was like, yeah, Gridman Figma, and it's like around $200, right? Oh yeah, that's for those of you listening, Meck just posted the Ultra 7
And it
figure in the chat.
and took me 1
Whoa.
minute to figure out Discord. Record.
Yeah. So we were looking up the Gridman Figma, and I was like, yeah, 200. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. That's not too bad, I guess. And then he turns around to go do something else, and I was like, I typed in Akane Shinjo like scale figure to see how much that was. And the moment I click search, he turns around and goes, no, like no, I'm not letting you buy that. Also more of Wam's manga roundup. There's this other manga I started reading. It's another one of the loser guy meets amazing girl genre. I'm not even gonna bother with the title because fuck, I don't know.
What's the
I can't.
premise?
The
What's the
premise is
I probably
guy
can guess the
works
title.
guy works at latex manufacturing company.
Oh,
and
that
has a-
one.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
one.
I know that one.
Anan's
A latex
manga.
product.
Anan
Yeah.
enters the party, I'm leaving.
I know that one.
Yeah, so it's just like the girl works at condom R&D, and he's like, the guy is so boring. He's such a boring character. He has no personality at all. The whole manga is literally just like, she's talking about condoms. That means sex. That's literally it. That's the whole thing. I'm like, holy shit, dude, you work at a latex manufacturing company. Could you grow up a bit? The girl's cute though, but I didn't even bother like favoriting the manga. Like, I'm not gonna come to it. It's not worth it. Literally, like every panel is just like the guy doing a wild face while the girl talks about like condom production. She's like, yeah, we have to stress test these condoms, so I put it onto this pumping machine and it just presses the condom on, and like it goes on, like, and he's like, oh, how long do you have to go for? It's like, oh, sometimes you can go for a few hours. And he's like, she want guys who go on for a few hours. Like, no, she's doing her job, you fucking perv. So yeah, congratulations. It's not Meguro-san's first time. You have been dethroned from the worst manga I've read.
Apparently it's pretty hard to search too. I googled manga latex company condom, no results regarding to the
Yeah,
manga.
it's got a long like Japanese name.
Mhm.
I can't remember if I talked about this on the last podcast because I can't. No, I think I didn't because I started this other manga. It's called Useless Girl Just Wants to Be Spoiled. Same genre. Loser dude. His defining trait is that he can't say no, so he keeps doing favors for everyone. And then one day he gets into manga. He really likes this one particular manga, and he finds out the artist lives right next door. And she's like a fucking slob who like aside, she's very diligent in her work, but she has no other skills beyond that. So the whole manga is about him like working for her. Oh yeah, it's called Asoko de Hataraku Musubu-san. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. The girl in that, her name is Condom. Like, her name is Kondo Musubu-san.
Okay,
And the guy makes her...
Asoko
Get the fuck
gets
out.
immediately. I found it immediately.
Yeah,
That's
it's it's a shame too. Like, I think we need more grown-up manga about adults. Can only take so many high school
mean,
settings.
You can search on seinen genre or maybe josei if you prefer more female type. I don't know. Like, okay,
I will.
we have shonen and shoujo, right? That one is
Mhm.
like for young adults, for teens. But for like more adult team, you go seinen and josei
Noted.
genre.
I will look that up. Well, I went on a rant about this on Twitter too, about like this particular genre. Their weakness is bad protagonists because they're just meant to be like blank self inserts.
Pretty much.
This guy is a loser just like me. But fucking Komi-san does it so well that I now have higher standards for every other manga in this genre. I'm like, listen, Komi-san's like protagonist, his whole shtick is that he is boring, and yet he is an interesting character because he is boring. Does that make sense to you? Then you should. So yeah, that's Wam's manga corner this week.
Oh, boy.
So yeah, and Mortal Kombat, it's okay.
Okay.
I forgot I did play a game. We played Mortal Kombat. Both Meck and I played Mortal.
I have nothing to add as well. MK11
Yeah,
looks good.
it's okay.
Feels
It's
good.
Mortal Kombat. So even further away from gaming, let's have an episode of Dia.Cast.
We
Okay.
lost a cylinder. We lost a cylinder.
Oh,
What's
God.
happening, guys? What's happening?
So a bit of context first. When you get like a superstar racer coming into F1, already surpassing all of his expectations, you expect the dream come true lah in the racing genre, but no, motorsports is very cruel. Take last week's race at Bahrain. Everyone's favorite Charles Leclerc was literally racing for his life, even though nobody really needs him be ever racing for his life. He was leading the race, I think halfway through, 20 laps to go when his engine got a problem, a cylinder issue, if I'm not
10
mistaken.
laps for the end.
10 laps towards the end. How cruel is that?
He was
Right, so
leading the
second-
race a big gap in front. His teammates were
10
better.
seconds. He's 10 seconds in front of Hamilton.
And this engine died. And basically, engine's trying to kill itself. Basically, no, I cannot have this perfect day.
He was on pole position. He started first. He was the fastest in qualifying the day before. He was the man to beat. And the last 10 laps was cruel to him.
This I think I just found the perfect amalgamation of this. You know those shonen mangas, right, where the hero meets the villain for the first time and he gets beaten badly.
Yeah.
This is basically it.
This is the child development arc.
Development arc.
I mean, he did get a lesson by Lewis Hamilton. After the battle, he said, "Oh, you have a long career after this. You'll get there."
Yeah, so basically the villain saying that, okay, it's okay, you can defeat me in another time.
Oh God. Can I just say that that's like my favorite thing in shonen anime, like the get your ass beat by your rival the first time. Like I watched Megalobox recently. So good. Like I love it so much. The rival dude comes to the main character's like underground boxing ring to beat him up and is like, if you want a rematch, you have to join my shitty tournament. I'm just like, Also Build Fighters. Build Fighters also does it really well.
I swear. But on the other side, of the grid, F1 1.5, we have our first shit poster win in Lando Norris.
Oh shit! I forgot he won 1.5, right?
Yeah,
He take.
sixth place.
Hey, the Iron Brew is
Lando
on the
Norris.
go.
So, for context for Wam and everyone else, Lando Norris is a 19-year-old man from UK. If you follow him on Twitter before he became a McLaren driver, he was very shitty all day, and he's also a Twitch streamer. With the donation and all, I remember watching one race, Max Verstappen.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mhm.
he was literally just like, "Oh, thank you for the subs, man, etc. etc."
I mean, even his the Twitch notifications are basically quotes from F1 drivers. So he is on the meme side. He knows the memes. I
It's
think
like
one
he
of them
knows
is
the
the
meme.
Alonso thing. I guess GP2 engine. I guess.
The GPT
I think one of the
yeah.
notification is the GP2 engine. Say GP2 engine. Ironically enough,
Ah.
ironically enough, he's now in that GP2 engine car. He's also a McLaren driver. Maybe he's intended. It's on brand, I guess. He makes an on brand meme.
Mhm.
But I think I like his name as well. It's Lando Norris, as in Lando from Star Wars, new guy.
And apparently he was not named after that Lando. He was
Ah, yeah, it was not even. His parents didn't even say that. So, that's very specific.
Cheeky Lando. What else about Bahrain? I forgot.
Yeah, Vettel spins again.
Oh yeah,
Satu
bottling
je
it.
boleh.
That is the normal.
The
It's
spin
already
master.
normal. That's the
Uh,
fifth.
It's not even news anymore that he spins.
That's the fifth time he did in 5 races.
You can put a bingo card already next year. He's totally
Vettel
gonna.
spins.
It's totally going to be a cross. He does it again. Crack under pressure. God damn it. Well, make or break, I guess.
Go break.
Mm.
Oh, also as well. For our Southeast Asian reps, Alex Albon, 8th place.
Huh?
He's a Thai driver.
Thai
he's-
driver.
Yeah, Anglo
race-
Thai. He has
he's-
2 nationalities, but he's driving with a Thai license. So his flag display is Thai. But he's mostly based in Britain. Sometimes he goes back to Thailand.
Tapi still, we can shield.
I mean, he's the best out of the C drivers in this generation so far.
Generation so far.
We have Rio Haryanto, we have Alex Young.
Terrible.
0
Terrible.
points.
At least
0
now
points.
he has points. So he made C proud. I don't know if he's the first C driver to get a points in Formula One. Need to check.
Second.
Second.
Actually, the prince, like a former prince of Thailand, got points. Got
Oh,
fourth.
oh yeah,
Way back in 1950s.
before the regulations come in. Okay. But still, the new generation he actually is the best out of us all. Good show then, Alex Albon.
Like Albon.
Alexander Albon. Yeah,
So-
Sean Galilei shit though.
Oh, the KFC man.
Yeah, KFC.
Oh, the
Yeah,
KFC
KFC
man.
Indonesia again.
He's still F2, right?
Yeah.
Formula 2.
Will he get a chance to the top
I
5?
don't know.
No.
Based on his result, he won't get his super license for, I don't know, maybe never.
I guess he's
Anan-
peak at F2 lah.
He can be a good ex F1 driver atau F2 drivers are good racer, good sports car racers. Last like Ray Haryanto now races Blancpain GT and just won like last race.
Oh, he's in Blancpain now. Cool.
He raced for this year baru masuk the Asia chapter whatever.
Oh, the Asian Blancpain series. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Blancpain series in the Ferrari.
Good to hear. At least he's winning something. His name is Rio. Shout out to the Shift F1 podcast. Yeah.
I find that KFC helmet lah.
KFC bucket helmet,
The
literally.
KFC bucket helmet. This guy.
I mean, his dad is the owner of KFC Indonesia franchise.
he is
Literal rich guy, rich family.
I thought the
literally
Sultan of
a
Johor
kid,
owned the KFC franchise.
That's for us.
That one's
That's in
Malaysia.
Malaysia.
This is Indonesia.
That's
Oh.
Malaysia. Here you go.
Indonesian.
Dude, I was in Cambodia and I think the KFC there was owned by Malaysia.
Yeah. We own like a majority of KFCs here in Malaysia, in Asia.
Also, that
except-
is the best helmet ever.
Yeah.
It makes
Yeah.
sense. It's a bucket. And that's how
Bucket.
helmets are designed, because the top part usually they make a circle for something else like a personal logo or motif. So it makes sense to make that sort of design. I won't get mad of it. He sell out for
Finger licking
KFC.
good.
Indonesia.
Now we know Colonel Sanders invented the racing helmet because of how well it
With
goes.
11 spices.
May the bucket of KFC save me from this imminent crash.
Crash
Yeah,
a lot
man.
though.
Uh,
This guy, like Shawnee.
Helmets don't prevent you from crashing. They just prevent you from dying when you crash.
Mm-hmm.
hey, at least there's a bucket. No. Okay, I guess that's Dia.cast.
Yep.
That's it for Dia.cast this week. Tune in next week. Is there another race before the next one?
Yes, next
Shanghai.
it will be the Shanghai Grand Prix, the
1000th race.
1000 race of F.
Ooh, okay, so we need to have Dia.cast to talk about that.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh yeah, wait, before we end, how's Robotas doing?
Bottas, the
He's still
upgrades
leading.
didn't work for second race. He finished second, so boleh lah.
I mean, it's not that far, right, from
Mhm.
Hamilton.
Yeah, like 3 seconds.
Nah, okay lah though.
The-
We'll force a software reboot just before Shanghai.
Yeah. You have to check his firmware. You have to make sure it's running up to date because
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
important security updates that get downloaded.
And we didn't ask if he had forage for breakfast. That's another concerning criteria that we need to have a look before Shanghai.
I cannot wait until we get a Robotas 3.0 where he just cuts off his legs and they plug him in like the Nintendo Switch into the
the
car.
Oh my god! I mean, we are going into the autonomous driving future, but not like this. I mean, drivers will be replaced by the AI, but not like this.
No. We cannot have driverless cars. We must have them like cut off their legs.
No, at
and
least
then-
have a head in there. Have a head in the jar. And a helmet with
man,
a KFC bucket.
Exactly. No, I want Nintendo Switch drivers. I just want the idea of them being like lowered in Switch and then like, car mode activated.
ESCOM enemy within flashbacks. Cut
Guys,
off
it's a slow news week, guys. Like we haven't played shit.
cut off your limbs to ride a mech to beat the aliens. Oh yeah, let's move on.
Holy shit! I just realized that's Gundam Thunderbolt. I want Gundam Thunderbolt but racing, please.
So that's where ESCOM stole the idea. God damn it. Anan, what did you play?
I play Warframe again.
Oh,
We all
surprise.
did. That's
We
the
all
other
did.
thing we did this week.
We all
We
Everyone
silent,
except me. That's why.
we all silently play Warframe.
Meck and I did a stream and it was shit.
Wanted to grind for parts, only get relics.
Yeah. Oh, I did get the 2 Revenant parts by the way from bounties yesterday. So
Well,
almost there.
yeah, same. I
Bounties
just left
are
the
nice.
neurotics. I got carried.
Yeah. What for what?
No, I got carried. I just need the neurotics.
For which Warframe?
Revenant.
Revenant. Oh,
Yup.
okay. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
So I did the
Anan.
bounties as well. Basically.
Anan, your
Uh.
thing.
Yeah, okay. So I bought some Mesa Prime parts, blueprints, like 2 weeks ago. I don't want to grind it. I don't have the relics. So then I pretty much bake it like 1 week ago, and then I went back home for holiday. So I haven't been playing for 1 week or so. And then yeah, on Monday I claimed my Mesa Prime and went farming to level up my Mesa Prime. So that's it. Yeah, so I went to Void Defense, basically. Void Relics, just to
Ah.
level up.
Cracking them open.
Yeah, and Mesa is probably my go-to besides Loki because I can press 4 to win.
She's Gun Excalibur. That's
Yeah,
what she
Gun
is.
Excalibur. Like it feels so good. You just let's say okay, you play defense missions, right? So you just stand on the corpse there, then press 4 left right, and then you click shoot. That's all. That's all you do, and then collect energy and stuff.
For those of you who don't know, the best thing about Mesa is the fact that her ult is actual finger pistols. Her arms turn into revolvers, and
Called the
they
Peacemaker.
called the Peacemaker.
Pew, 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 pew.
Peacemaker or Peacekeeper?
Peacemaker, I think, because Peacekeeper is an actual thing.
Ah, yeah.
I don't know. Someone will correct us in the comments. But
We should make some meaning.
Okay, so the thing about the Mesa Orb, the Peacemaker, is that instead of pure ability that you activate, you can also mod the ability itself. So it's basically a secondary gun with unlimited bullet.
yup. Do you have to
So that's
reload
it.
though?
No, you
'Cause
just
it-
literally just press click. Just click your or press fire. Unlimited. It just takes your energy by time. Yeah, like
Yeah,
every second it
it's
will drain energy.
channeling.
Yeah, it's just channeling by time, not by every shot. It doesn't take any energy, only by time.
Mm.
So you can basically mod for different element damage. Let's say you want corrosive, radiation, or magnetic. You can just mod
Yeah.
it according to missions.
Yeah, I was fooling around with my Mesa yesterday as well. Like Mesa is a fun Warframe.
Yeah,
Like when
probably
I'm
the
not,
most fun. Like when you're too lazy, just press 4. You don't have to shoot everything.
I want to get the augment that lets her walk while using Peacemaker.
Or the Mesa Walks, the mod. Mesa Walk.
Yeah, and because that sounds like fun. I didn't realize that you have to mod the regulators separately because before this, before the update, she just takes the mods off your secondary weapon.
Yeah.
So I had a build that was just it was on the secondary weapon, but really it's just for the regulators. uh
And my modding is still, let's say, not advanced level, just basically mods. I haven't put any arcanes or any additional effects. I haven't formatted yet. So I'll probably get more powerful over time. Currently, like I get crit damage 5k, maybe 6k easily. So I can go to high tier defense, like tier 3 defense easily. Tier 3.
Damn,
Yes.
sounds Mesa is great, dudes.
Okay. I've just completed stuff that will allow me to try and grind my way to a Mesa, and I'm totally committed in doing that bullshit. I know it's going to be hard. I need to collect all the random invasion stuff first to craft to get a chance to get into the mission and then get it done to get a chance of one part of the Mesa. I know it's going to be there, but I've done a lot. I'm just going to read out all the warframes that I've been building up the past 2 weeks, and I haven't claimed this. I have Frost, Inaros, Nyx, Titania, Valkyrie, Ember, Equinox, Mirage, Excalibur, and Gara. I think Nova is on the way. Loki is also on the way. I just need to get the monies to craft them all. So yeah, about 10. I've grinded a lot.
Yeah, we have been playing a lot of Warframe. It's just a good game, man. Like, I like the Nightwave stuff now because I can just be like, yeah,
basically battle pass.
yeah, this is my mission for today, and then like I'm trying to get Revenant and what's the other Hero? Yeah, I'm trying to get Hero as well.
I got a lot of hero chassis from
Everyone does.
Void Relics.
I mean, that's the source of my money right now. Sell those hero chassis to put in money to get all these warframes done. I just want to grind. Just want to have them all. I just want to collect them all.
Yeah,
But
that's
I also sold my duplicate mods and I got 800,000 credits.
oof.
That's a lot of
Almost
duplicates.
a million credit from duplicates.
Nice. I always do the index whenever I'm broke.
Oh, I didn't
Oh
try
yeah.
that.
Oh, I don't know if I want to try betting.
Oh
Is
man,
it
you
easy?
have it's have the right friends with you because yeah, then it'll be a lot easier.
I've seen the experience. I've been there. So I can take your word on that. Yeah. Guess that's Warframe. We've played too much.
Yeah, That's our how many week in a row we talked about Warframe?
I don't know. And also, I just like to point out that the way Warframe is free to play, I like the way it is like being the structure right now, because it's not really because a lot of free to play games is that they impede your progress and they make you feel bad, and then you unwillingly, begrudgingly pay them money. But the way Warframe makes me feel about spending money is that I've been having too much fun. Guys, are you for real? Do you not want money? So I pay them some money.
Mm.
It's like I'm tipping for a good service rather than being forced of a subscription that I do not want to be part of. It's that sort
Yeah,
of feeling.
I was gonna say it's like dating a manic pixie dream girl, where you're just like, no, I want to do this stupidly irresponsible thing for you.
And
I was just like, I was literally just like looking through the Tenogen stuff, like, what can I buy? I need to buy something for Warframe. I've gone too long without showing you I love you, Warframe.
and also it offers like, if you want to spend little money but just enough money, you have that option. I can spend like 15 to 70 ringgit just for enough platinum to do some good stuff. Maybe not all, but just enough. But then you have the wheels where you can buy the higher tier stuff. Even like the Prime Access right now, we have Equinox Prime, right? They've
Yep.
rotated out
Yeah.
Mesa Prime. You'll have to grind now.
Yep. I'm looking at Redeemer Prime. I want to get Redeemer Prime because I love
I'm
the
looking for
genre.
Redeemer Prime too now. Redeemer Prime
Okay.
is also one of my favorite melee because you can literally shoot a melee weapon with a gun blade.
Charge it.
I am one part away from making my own Redeemer Prime. I've just remembered. I'm gonna grind that
Ooh.
thing out. I'm willing to put the time in. So that's Warframe.
That's Warframe. That's the second time we've tried to escape war.
And that is, I think that's enough reasons. If you chronologize all of our talks about Warframe, that's enough of an argument to say this is why I personally put it as an S tier.
So Daniel, you had some time with Origin Access. Talk to us
yes.
about that.
Yes, I did. So last episode, as we were like struggling to find ways to get games for the for Max PC review.
It's mostly how to get Anthem or any RTX case.
Yeah,
But yeah.
any RTX stuff. So I got myself a 1 month pass of Origin Access, and I think it's by far the best of this like Game Pass punya subscription out of the rivals right now, which is Xbox Game Pass and the PlayStation now. Solely on the fact that the games that you download, you can just take them anywhere.
Oh.
Like let's say so for my example, I downloaded City again because
SimCity.
the trash fire that is City 2014. I don't remember.
Yeah, around I think it's 12. I think.
Yeah, 12 is now playable at least. So I
It's
downloaded
2013.
2013. Yeah. So I downloaded, played offline with my friends at uni because we had an hour free. We just played some City and it was fun. So my point is that their current Origin stuff is, I think, much easier because you can download it on a computer like mine. Daripada say yang the Xbox and the PlayStation one, you have to play on console itself. Kalau tak salah kan, because it is part of their infrastructure.
And PS now is not available in Asia because
Yes, exactly.
Pam, it's a streaming model. It's a streaming
It's
service.
a streaming model.
Okay, back to your story.
No, back to my story. So my point is that betul lah, Origin Access, even though it's like, I don't know, 3 months, $20, so that's 80 ringgit. It's still quite good because you get to keep those games even after let's say Origin Pass, so they give you, oh, you can play this game for a week, and then we'll remove the library from your account, which is a nice touch from EA. Can't say about their game development sector, but we come back to that later, right?
Oh, we'll talk about that later.
Later,
Definitely, we
yeah.
have stories to tell.
No story.
Okay, so before we head to the news, we're gonna talk about the news because something happened. Something beautiful happened. We got Borderlands 3.
Woo.
Oh my god, we're going to Borderlands 3 first.
Yes.
Yeah, let's fucking talk about Borderlands 3.
Go.
Borderlands 3!
Can we
God
just say
damn.
like first off, they showed a teaser trailer and then a full trailer like how many days later? Like it was very long.
3 days later.
3 days later, we got like goddamn Atlas. Atlas, look at that. We got to
It doesn't take a month to release info, man. Come on.
yeah. God, the Borderlands 3 trailer looks so cool.
You know
Like-
what? I've been sniffing of Borderlands 3 from early this year already. That's why I put it on the tier list. Or oh, where's Borderlands? I've put it already, and I've hinted that we may hear about it soon. This is the time. We have arrived. Borderlands 3 is here.
1
Borderlands 3.
billion guns.
God, I like that mono eye hunter dude, the one that's named after Daniel.
Okay, let's talk about the Vault Hunters for now. Okay, we have Moz or Moze. Basically, it's the
Moze.
gunner. She's the girl with the gun and can summon the mech and can drive the mech, can pilot the mech, and someone
Mm-hmm.
from your team can also jump on top and fire machine guns
Titanfall.
on the map. It's basically summoning Titanfall. Also, all of her artwork right now, if you look at the Borderlands 3 artworks that featuring her, she always have a big, long gun, longer and bigger than the others.
Yeah,
I
I can't tell if that's a new weapon class or if that's part of her passive. Maybe I don't know.
probably, but there are a lot of different weapon types. Have I seen? Okay, next we have Amara, the Siren,
Mm-hmm.
the Rip Siren, who can summon Jojo arms. She's basically
Yes.
6 ethereal arms to be exact. And yeah, I think you can see hints of her moves, but one of them is a ground pound. So essentially, she'll just be, instead of a support siren, she'll be punching dudes with JoJo style stand arms.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the copyright. It's called Flag. It's called Flag. FL4K.
Yeah.
We have to address this, man. It's basically a robot thing. It's referred to a robot and summons pets. So the Beastmaster basically.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. Robot that summons pets. And the last but not least, we have Zane. And from the marketing material so far, I think he's the punchline for this round of Vault Hunter, because they just say he's Zane. He's some retired hitman and he's Zane. I mean, that's a recurring theme with Borderlands Vault Hunters introduction. They always have cool introduction, but the last of the 4 will always have a gimmick. Like in Borderlands 1, Brick as himself. Borderlands 2,
Yeah.
0 as a number. Borderlands the sequel, Claptrap as a mistake.
That's a...
No, it was. Oh yeah, it was,
As a
I was gonna say like I'm so glad they didn't waste a slot. Claptrap is so bad in Borderlands the pre-sequel. I don't like him.
Not even in 2 I hate him already. The first when they made Claptrap as a general thing that just appears everywhere, it's fine. But then they make the Claptrap. Oh my god, I cannot stand that guy. It's not even funny anymore. It doesn't age well.
I may play Moze just if she has alternate hairstyles
Of course,
Because-
they
because her mech looks pretty cool. If not, probably gonna play as Flag because mono eye summoner class sounds amazing.
I'll probably go for Amara because I've been playing the last three Borderlands using as a siren type at least.
Mm.
Except two, except because two, I'm mostly a gauge masculine.
Yeah,
Don't
Gate
have
is
me.
Gate is great. And the other thing was, what's this? What was I thinking of? Oh yeah, what's her name? Lilith from Borderlands 1 looks amazing.
Oh yeah.
I would like her to step on me, please.
Oh, I should download the remaster.
The
Yeah,
what? Oh,
the
yeah.
Game of
The
the Year,
Borderlands.
Borderlands Game of the Year also was announced at the same time. It's now on PS4 and Xbox One. But if you have the game on PC, regardless of how many DLCs you have, you get Borderlands Game of the Year edition and all the DLCs you didn't get.
Yeah.
I just got one free
Yeah.
DLC. Nice.
I just got
Yeah.
all DLCs free.
And they've also retroactively added a lot of the quality of life things.
Oh,
Like
thank
they've
God.
adjusted
Thank
the
God.
backpack inventory system. You get to collect ammo and health on the spot. Also, they added customization like unique heads and skins.
I think my
And
most favorite is the enemy balancing with. God damn that first the army base punya city.
Hmm.
mhm.
So
Also,
yeah, I guess you can expect like a lot of Borderlands coverage when the game comes out.
oh, we already have a few more. Like they've announced the new gun. Not really the new. They've announced the returning gun manufacturers, and also Atlas is back. Most of them have new gimmicks. Like Hyperion has a shield right now, so guns
Ooh.
a shield attachment as a one is gimmicks.
They
Maliwan
better
guns.
have a shield unit.
Maliwan guns used to have an guaranteed element. Well, now you can toggle between two elements.
Ooh.
Take that.
Ooh.
And I think replacing the bandit and scarf, sorry, manufacturer is the Children of the Vault guns. Basically the replacement of the bandit lah. Usually they have like their trait is how you say a big ammo dump. They have large ammo, but now
Yeah.
they replace it with unlimited ammo, but it has a heat meter. It can get overheated. So basically Mass Effect
Okay.
guns.
Different guns, yeah.
Mass Effect 1 guns to be exact. But it looks like a very cobbled up things lah. It looks nice.
It's like the
Vladov.
pipe weapons from Fallout.
Yeah, that's a good
The
one.
damn.
Vladov have underbarrel attachments, including like tasers and other gun attachments. So you can have a gun with a gun attachment down there, so you can fire more guns. Also, it fires a lot of ammo. Atlas is basically Atlas. Before I forgot, is basically it has the smart pistol from Titanfall. You can shoot a tracker,
Ooh.
and then any shot after that will automatically home down to that target.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It's basically a smart pistol in many
Mhm.
forms.
And we also got Vampire, right? Vampire, the Masquerade Bloodlines,
Yeah, vitamin B.
Vitamin B.
If you look at if you look at the acronym, it's basically VTMB2. So vitamin B, or the full name is Vampire Vampire colon the Masquerade dash Bloodlines 2. Oh my god. This game, we did not expect a full sequel. I expected last episode was supposed to be like, oh, maybe it's a remake of a. No, they went the full on. They went to make a AAA game sequel featuring uh, one of the writers from the first game. Obviously, they could not get the lead directors because if you don't know, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines was made by Troika Games, who was founded by Tim Kaine and Leonard Boyarsky, aka from the creators of the Outer Worlds. Now that joke makes sense. Now that joke makes sense. So basically, the Paradox have been this is being published by Paradox, the Swedish publishing studio that has been raking up a lot of money, raking up a lot of sex, and by sex I mean Swedish kroners. uh, like games like Crusader Kings 2, Europa Universalis 4, and more recently, BattleTech and City Skylines. Those games are making them big money, and now they are making a full-on immersive sim Western RPG at a triple A scale, which is really interesting to see. You don't expect strategy. These guys are very specialized in that genre. Suddenly, they're making a triple A game. It's really cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
The studio is Hatsuit Labs. They are entirely new, but they do have like veterans from the first Vampire Masquerade game, from Bloodline. So a few of them are there,
Mm-hmm.
including the one of the lead writer right now is also a veteran from there. They are based in Seattle, which is basically neighbors next door to the guys at Harebrained Schemes, the guy back at BattleTech. So now Paradox have like Seattle and Sweden under their belt. They have that conquer. The reveal was weird. If you look at as a stream, because it was not supposed to be looked as a stream, because the way they teased the announcement was they made a whole ARG of it, an alternate reality game. They made an app called Tender, which is sold as a dating site. You register
Mm-hmm.
an account, it asks all normal questions, and then suddenly, what are your interests? Anime, games, the occult, taxidermy, sports. So it gets a bit shady there, and then people start discovering, oh, if you can also link your Paradox account to this. Hold on, and then they like people from the detective subreddit or something. They have a wiki that tracks down the progress of the ARG. Start discovering clues. They start doing escape rooms. That was
Dude, ARG stuff is just like, God. You remember the Sombra ARG?
that
Oh.
was frustrating, but cool to see.
Frustrating.
But this one they wait. No, they wait. They have to go to an escape room installment, and it was streamed live on Twitch for some reason on Paradox channel. And what? What's happening? And then people start to unravel. Oh, there are a lot of vampire connections, and the whole reveal event was actually it's a LARP event. The whole thing is set up to be a LARP event. So people like 300 VIPs are there. They can be. They were invited there. Some can participate in the LARP, so they have to do quests while talking with the characters on stage and which is very interesting to see. There's an ASMR channel. There's a weird white room where there's an blood IV in there, and you'll be asked weird questions, and then lights go off. It's really weird when you like, but it doesn't convey that much on stream. When we saw the reveal, it was like a cringy act on stage, which is weird. But people from that attended the event, they say, yeah, it's a pretty cool event. The reveal was pretty cool because by the end of the launch of the Tender app, suddenly one person hijacks the announcement, make a big reveal of a conspiracy, lights go off, and then UV light shows up, and you can see blood everywhere, all in the whole room. It was blood
I
all
hope it was
around.
blood and not semen.
I mean, it was white. I assume it was blood. Let's assume it was blood. Don't think
I'm
about
just saying, there's more than one fluid that shows up under UV light.
it. So yeah, that was the Bloodlines 2 reveal. And also one thing, Chris Avallone is also contributing to the writing of Bloodlines 2. That's another good thing to look for. And it is not an Epic Game Store exclusive on PC. It's also going to
Yet.
be on Steam as well as Epic
We
Game
can
Store.
never confirm it until the game launches. Remember remember Outer Worlds. What we have learned is that the Epic Game Store will just wait until it's a good time and then buy exclusivity.
I'm not gonna think about Paradox because they are very adamant and clear with the announcement. They said they will be going to they mentioned it on stream. They will going to be released on Steam. They mentioned it on their Twitter account. It will be on Steam, and also on Steam. Thank you, original pricing is only 93 ringgit.
Damn.
93. This is a $60 game, by the way. I've checked the normal pricing. It's $60. In Malaysia, it's 93 ringgit. So if you
Yeah,
still
man.
don't trust that, go pre-order it now. Just in
Just
case.
pre it down now.
Yeah,
So
if you do not trust the Epic Games hands of exclusivity, grabbing Bloodlines 2, it's a good deal to pre-order now. Even it's going to be bad, it's only 93 ringgit.
God.
That's a bad advice, but this is the world we live in.
Okay, so let's move on to the news. Before we move on to the news, however, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, should I advertise here? The answer is yes. Please give us money. We'd
we need them.
gladly pimp out your service here. Hey Daniel, have you heard of insert service here?
No,
It's
no,
the
I
new-
haven't.
It's the new thing that you can do to function of service. In fact, if you wish to service here, then you can use our special code, insert code here, to get insert offer. For advertising info, contact hi@gamermlaya.my with the subject line podcast advertising, I guess. I don't know. So, news.
I'm glad that 6 minutes of me rambling give you a good window to Photoshop to make that thing work. The news.
The news. Like I said, there wasn't much news this past 2 weeks. Everyone's just kind of tired from Sekiro. The first one is Apple is jumping into the game streaming thing. We bitched about. I briefly bitched about Max earlier, but
It's not a streaming service.
it's not a streaming service.
It's
Okay,
a
what is it then?
subscription. It's basically Origin Access, but for mobile, but for Mac
Aduh.
devices. You see, Daniel, you ask,
why?
you answer, you question. Okay, people copy Origin, right? Apple has the answer. Apple Arcade.
So what? So I still need the hardware to play it.
You
Yeah,
need the
you
hardware
need-
to play it.
Yeah, you need the
iPad,
iPhone and iPad.
Apple,
Mac.
Mac, Apple TV, or Mac.
Apple TV, yeah.
Mm. It's a
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I get all the games on the platform.
Yeah. There
So
will
it's Netflix for games.
essentially.
Yeah.
And there are also games exclusively revealed at Apple Arcade. So Apple do have like a stake on helping the developers getting their game out. One is a game by Revolution Software by the name of Beyond a Steel Sky. If you haven't heard of if those words do not ring a bell, this is a sequel to this is a sequel to Beneath a Steel Sky. I need to get that right. Beneath a Steel Sky, it was released like in the early 90's. It is a point and click adventure, and at some point Windows stopped supporting that game, and somehow someone made an emulator called ScumVM to make it playable, and the developers just make that game free. You can play Beneath a Steel Sky if you download it on torrent. Don't worry, it's free. So they are Apple are funding that game somehow. Also, Hironobu Sakaguchi, the Gooch,
Sakaguchi-san.
the creator of Final Fantasy, Lost Odyssey, The Last Story. He's making another new game. Guess what the name is?
The actual last story.
Well, he's going
I
back to his
wish.
roots. Fantasia.
Got
Some-
Fantasia Fantasy.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
and a few other a lot of indie games being published there too. Well, not necessarily exclusives, but it will be a good fit on mobile, at least.
Hmm.
And it's maybe coming to Malaysia because it is going to be released in 150 countries. Depending on who you ask, there are 190 something countries in the world, and you can find information
So
if you
fuck
log in
you,
Malaysia.
40 countries.
Exactly.
They have by announcing that they are going to 150 countries, they have now much better than Sony.
Or
The
Stadia.
PS Now.
Or Stadia.
Or Stadia.
Well, and they don't have to invest for first party publishing or anything like that.
Someone was saying that the problem now is that like we're living in a cyberpunk future where if you're an indie dev, you have to team up with a big corporation to get your game published. Like you either have to side with Epic Games, or you can side with Apple and get it on the, or you can get it with Google and play it on the Stadia,
I mean,
or Nindies.
if you want to go full indie, that's Itch.io.
Yeah,
Itch.io.
dude, I actually check Itch.io, by the way. If you're a local game developer and you have your game on Itch.io, like send me a link. At Wamerol on Twitter, send it to me. I will check it out. Like I'll at least give it a cursory glance, because was this one of my games of the year for 2017? Yeah, for 2017 was localhost. That was on Itch.io. So yeah, that's the Apple Arcade. So Sony had their state of play, which was their like legally distinct Nintendo Direct. Well, what the hell happened was that? It was all VR stuff, right?
If you don't have a VR headset, you're not going to be impressed by the presentation.
Did we get anything more about the Fate Grand Order VR game?
No.
Nope.
Okay, so all we got was shitty Iron Man. Dude, that
Yes.
Iron Man, the Iron Man game looks so bad.
Now my problem is first impression are saying it's good. I haven't read, but I've seen headlines saying it's good. I'm not convinced. You might need
I'm
to
not
check that
convinced.
out.
They are shills. They are fucking shills. I don't. It looks so unresponsive. Like it doesn't feel like you're flying. Here's the thing, right? I want a good Iron Man VR game. You know why? Because I have a long island cushion thing for my sofa. Like imagine like a sofa but with no backing thing, so it's literally just a thing that you can lie down on. And if I had a VR headset, I would totally lie down on my stomach and play the Iron Man VR game like that. But it looks like shit, and so I won't. It looks really bad. It looks like a tech demo at best, and even then it's
at best.
even then not a great tech demo. And the rest of it was so unforgettable that it's not even worth bringing up, unless you guys have something.
All I'm going to add is the format is good. Keep on, just put in the content. Put in the good announcements, please. That's a good format.
I think there's going to be one more for like main PlayStation stuff.
Oh, totally. Yeah, they're not going
Remember
to be
we
at
had-
E3.
No one's going to be at E3 this year, except CD Projekt Red.
All to himself.
Yeah. So we got 2 possible new Nintendo Switch models have been announced.
One's a higher end model, and another is a much more stripped down model where you cannot dock your Switch.
Oh, cool.
I like this
Yes.
because we had the same thing last generation with the new 3DS.
And 2DS.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had the new 2DS was essentially about the same price as the old 3DS, but you didn't have 3D features. And unlike the old 2DS, this one actually could fold and stuff. So like, holy shit, this is amazing. I was going to buy one before the Switch was announced. But yeah, it's real. I think that's great. More consoles should do this. Have a no bells and whistles option for those who just want to play games. But yeah, let's hope it's true, because a lot of people have been asking me if they should get a Switch, and I always tell them wait for the announcement of the new models, man. At the very worst, the old Switch model will go down in price.
Yeah.
At best, you could get an amazing Switch with built-in vibrator. Just saying. Third news story is fuck Atlas. You may have remembered the whole issue with Persona 5 The Royal. Well, no, it was P5R. They said
P5R, yeah.
mid-March we're gonna give you more info on P5R. Also, more info. At some point, we're going to get more info on Joker and Smash. Whatever. So they were like, "Oh yeah, get ready for the new info after the Persona 5 the animation OVA." And then what we got was a cryptic teaser trailer and nothing else. And they said, "Oh, tune in again April 25th to get
Announcement of an
Right.
announcement. You know what? The early draft of the docket, I put it on the headline because I didn't watch the announcement. I thought maybe this is something that we can talk about, and then I realized, okay, maybe not. I've checked the trailer. And, okay.
I mean, we could speculate, like we could just go full speculate mode on what it's gonna be. And then we also got another Persona 5 announcement, P5S, with a cryptic website also saying more info April 25th. And I hope they actually mean more info, not just a shitty trailer.
Trailer.
We
to
got a new girl
another
though.
date.
We got a new girl for the Royal though. Maybe a new character, maybe not. She kind of looks like the Persona tree, Femc.
Yep.
People have brought up having a female playable character may be a little creepy with some of the romance route options.
The Gunsmoke Kid. God. Cat Smoke Kid.
That being said, I feel like it's already creepy, like playing as a student, extorting your teacher into being your maid. But you know what? I'm fully content to just accept Persona 5 as just a weird game. So you know what? Whatever. I hope that the Persona 5 the Royal adds more like progressive shit to Persona 5. Maybe, maybe not. And I'm hoping that P5S is a Switch port of the game so that I can date Futaba on the go. But yeah, that's Persona 5, man. I don't know what to say because they won't give us any info.
I can't
Also,
believe.
apparently, at a Smash stream as well, they were just like, Joker's on the way. Just like
On the way.
not even a release date yet. I'm like, "Ah, come on, man. I would
Hello.
buy a Joker amiibo.
I can't
Yeah.
believe they called P5 the Royal.
It fits the game.
I
It's
mean,
the game.
now problem is I keep comparing with Final Fantasy 50 Royal Edition, which is worse by default, but still, because those two RPGs were, remember back in 2016, they were going head to head. Oh, this is going to release on September. Oh, this is also September, and then one delayed, and then we know one is better than the other, and then one got the Royal Edition first, didn't do much.
In other news, World Cyber Games, the granddaddy of esports, is coming back. You know it's old if it's called World Cyber Games.
Yeah, that's why.
Cyber. Not e-games, man. Cyber.
Superhuman Cyber Samurai Squad.
The word cyber is so 90s at this point.
That's right. It is. That's like it's basically the grandfather of esports now.
That's how you know it's old.
What's
If
the
you-
games going there?
It doesn't say yet. I tried. We got a press release like earlier to this week, and it doesn't say just yet. But I'm
I hope
hoping.
Brood War is on it. Please, Brood War.
Oh, man. That's a throwback and another.
Brood War, Melee,
The melee fits, man. I wouldn't mind.
Melee takkan
Melee
hilang di
never
dunia.
died. Melee never dies.
Oh, dude, we had some shitty Melee news. Oh god, not even gonna bother. It's just a
Don't
shitty
bother.
Melee tournament.
Too complicated.
Too complicated. Not gonna get into it. Yes, so it's Melee. What's this? Melee, Brood War, and Doom.
Original
Oh,
Doom.
No, Doom.
Yeah, original Doom.
Okay, Doom. Original Doom.
Competitive.
I was thinking
Right.
Quake.
Quick Three.
Quick
Oh,
3 Arena, yeah.
I still have
Yeah.
Quick 3 Arena.
same.
It's good.
Okay, so next, Apex 1.1 update causes players to lose progression. People panicked, but it's since been fixed.
Yeah, so
Mm.
apparently they sort of made a mistake of maybe not connecting to the player progression database. So basically, people on basically high level 100, and all the items, everything lost.
Oh my
People
Oh.
god.
panic like, what the hell happened? Everything. But as it turns out, they still have the backup, so they just roll it back in terms of the connection. But anything you did after the update and before the fix is not recorded, so it's lost.
Mm.
Maybe like 1 day of progress, so it's fine.
Man,
The best thing watching
I
the
was
panic unfold.
totally the top ranked player, but you know what? The update, and now it's
Gone.
My battle pass progress. My battle pass.
and the Razer Turret.
Genuinely panic, and I'm
Uh.
like, first time.
And finally, the Razer Turret has a wireless keyboard and mouse for Xbox One. Didn't we like as a civilization agree that keyboard and mouse technology should not come to console?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean-
here
I
we
mean-
are.
Yet here we are.
No. I mean,
Okay.
they should give the option to use it in console, but games should have the option to completely disable it,
Yes.
bypassing the restriction altogether.
Oh,
Hmm.
oh yeah, because there are peripherals that uses workarounds. They register as controllers, but they are essentially
Yeah.
keyboard and mouse controls.
It's like the PlayStation Vim. Like,
Yeah, that's
it's unfair, I'd say. I mean, you can get really good with a controller. Like, I've watched videos of Apex players aiming basically no difference with mouse player. Like very little difference if you didn't know.
mm.
But yeah,
I used to
it-
play
it-
Overwatch
it-
with max sensitivity on my controller.
Wow.
what sensitivity? Max.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Oh,
It's Reinhardt, man, because you had that tech where if you swing the camera while swinging Reinhardt's hammer, you extend the hitbox.
uh,
Yeah, man. OG Overwatch this.
okay, that
I
makes
still
sense.
cannot aim in first person shooter with a controller. I still need the aim assist. But it's fine. I mean, I'll play third person games with controller. First
Yeah,
person, maybe no.
Third person works with controller, I feel.
Third person for me is like made for controller, except Dead Space. That's it. Dead Space I'll use mouse and keyboard. Other games I use controller.
Interesting. I mean,
And oh yeah, go.
no, interesting. Saying by someone who still plays with invert controls. Go on.
Okay, so our last story. Somehow this episode managed to run long. Our last story, Anthem's development woes, explains a lot. Meck wrote this, so Meck, take the lead.
Oh boy, there is a big 11,000 word report on Kotaku, which basically answers what happened to Anthem. And oh, there's a lot of things to talk about from the article. So, one thing, you know that the name was not really Anthem before the release? Just like one
the first bombshell.
they start. I mean, Jason Schreier, God bless him. He knows how to tell the story. So he started with that thing first. So the first title of the game was supposed to be, big shocker, Beyond.
Yawn.
uh, in one way, I'm glad that it didn't get through. It didn't get through because it was hard to trademark. Because then we have another comparison. We have another Beyond Two Souls.
Mm.
We can get mad of this game because of David Cage in proxy. I mean that's a very very Dia.Log joke lah. I mean, this is within us lah. But still,
To be
oh my
fair, I kind of want to watch the social media shit show between the two games. Like, wants to call themselves the better Beyond.
So is
Mm.
Beyond Two Souls the sequel to Beyond, or Beyond is the sequel?
Oh.
And the other thing is that the game's development was so horrendous that when we first watched the E3 2017 gameplay trailer, that is also the point where most of the development team actually found out what sort of game they are now making, because the game was like in pre-production hell. It took too long. Casey Hudson, the guy that led the project first, that led the new IP team, he made all the decisions, he decided everything, and then poof, he left BioWare and go to Microsoft to do something. He said something in his farewell letter that he left already a good team, something like that. So there is a strong IP already, just waiting to get there. And fast forward a few more years, he's back and BioWare's a shit show. Team is in shambles. Oh my god.
I imagine like it's basically that comedy joke and I'm out to get cigarettes. Be right back. Come back and what the hell happened?
Everything is a fire.
Oh, it's the community meme, yeah.
Oh my.
My favorite is from Angry Joe. It's like, okay, during the E3 reveal, the audience, oh, so that's the game. The developers, oh, so that is the game.
Man,
Same
I want to
reaction.
laugh, and also I feel so sad about the development team that plowing through the game, making this game. Man, this is really rough stuff, man. Also, regarding the way the games develop, they hit a lot of snag because of EA's proprietary engine Frostbite. Well, it was described by some of the developers that was interviewed by Schreier, saying that it's a razor blade full of shit. A Formula One car with razor blades all over, very delicate and very hard to work with. And if you look at the logo of Frostbite, if you go and look at the logo of Frostbite, it's a hand
hand.
shattered or sliced apart. And I just have to make it's a very cruel joke that, man, those are the hands of the developers at EA right now working with Frostbite. God damn it.
Mm.
I mean,
I mean, the name itself is a telling. Frostbite. It
Yeah.
literally freeze you to death.
that too. That as well. It's very difficult. I mentioned a few episodes ago about how Need for Speed was prototype. They have to have hands with guns before to make the car
Yeah.
prototype. Yeah, I mean that's just some of the anecdotes that we heard, and apparently it is much worse than that. They don't even have good save states working. They don't have a load game and save game function. They have to. BioWare have to implement them all. Man, it's rough. A few more
Like,
things.
literally the trailer. There's no game. When we see the trailer, there's still no game.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
So, basically, essentially, the E3 2017 trailer all fake because production only goes into full swing after that.
Oh god.
But
Yeah.
wait, the game was in production for 6 years. That can't be true.
I mean, sure, but it keep on dying and rebooting and dying and rebooting again. Oh, the flying mechanic that is basically the saving grace of Anthem, making it more different than the other looter shooters. That is also unintentionally throughout the development, it keeps on being added and removed, added and removed. It was finally
Wouldn't it be
added.
funny?
It was finally added to impress one of the big guns at EA, who's also left the company now. I have this ad to make sure the game Anthem is still green lighted. Okay, what's you saying?
Wouldn't it be funny if originally there wasn't supposed to be a flying mechanic, but the physics engine bugged out and just launched the suits? And they were like, "Hey, it looks like a flying mechanic. So let's just add that in."
One more thing. Regarding I mentioned about looter shooters, the game was not even intended to be a looter shooter, which explains a lot. You know how the weapons are terrible. The weapons and loots are terrible because they are not equipped to do those things. and they was not even designed. The game was not even designed as a looter shooter in mind. That's why the formula sucks and has exploits for level 1 assault rifles. God damn it! My god! And I can't blame the good folks that do good animations and stuff like that. And also, there are reports of people going into an empty room and crying a lot, and also people who have to take mandated stress leaves for their mental health being prescribed by doctors, and sometimes for weeks, sometimes for months, sometimes they came back, sometimes they don't.
Ooh,
That's, yeah, now we get into the more depressing stuff.
So, you may think, there's no way it could get any worse than that. I'm here to tell you, this is the game industry. Of course it can. So, since this report came out, people are wondering, what's BioWare got to say about this? They're one of the good guys.
Oh
Well,
my god.
BioWare released a blog post about this story. And hold on, let me find the quote. People in the industry put so much passion and energy into making something fun. We don't see the value in tearing down one another or one another. We don't believe articles that do are making our industry and craft. So fuck you, BioWare.
Oh god. I lost you for a few seconds there, but basically Wam just read the whole statement of BioWare saying it's basically a canned response. It's a canned response that was
it's not a canned response. That's the thing. Okay, wait, let me reread the quote then. Because you said you lost me. Right? It's, we don't see the value in tearing down one another or one another's work. We don't believe articles that do are making our industry and craft better. Like, fuck you, BioWare.
I mean, Jason Schreier already made a piece on Andromeda, so I think they already made this like months or weeks beforehand because they already expected the article to come.
and it doesn't really address a lot of the things that brought up. Like they preemptively mentioned about, oh, there's not really crunch being implemented. Not of the development team complaining about crunch. That's not the main topic. That was not the main thing. That's why I think Jason Schreier also tweeted about the statement being released oddly quick, and implying that those guys didn't really read through what the article is about. But they know, but BioWare know this thing will come out.
Here's
But,
the thing, right? It's like, if you're a shitty enough person, you can kind of predict what people are gonna yell at you about, so you just prepared.
Yeah, hence the
It's
canned
like-
response. Not like they've just made it like that. I get what you
It's
mean. I get what you mean.
They already
It's like when you're-
have it prepared
when you're
beforehand.
a universal, like when you're a serial slob on group projects, you have your excuses lined up already. Like, oh, I'm going hometown next week. Oh, I'm
Yeah, that's the tone of BioWare's response basically. Man,
to blame the article saying, "Oh, you're ruining the game," you're like, "Fuck you, BioWare." That is a terrible take. Like, hey, you talking on behalf of our employees that are too afraid to speak up. Like, yo, what's wrong with this? Like, fuck off, BioWare. Fuck off. Like, I kind of hope EA gets them now for that.
I mean,
Like, enjoy your shitty Warframe clone and the fact that you'll probably never be allowed to make another good game because your shitty Warframe clone was a shitty Warframe clone. Because yeah, this wasn't even like if it was us breaking the story, right? Like, we're nobody. Like, I can see the reason to be skeptical, but yeah, what's his name? Adam Schreier. He's a big guy. Like, he is an investigative reporter. He comes out and says, "Hey, there's a problem," and your response is, "No, you're making this a bad time. How dare you bring up grandma's cocaine addiction at her birthday party?"
I like to mention that a lot of the good guys at BioWare is long gone. Like even the doctors are not there anymore. They are gone. One of them making a beer company or something, or make videos about making beers. I don't know. But They are having happy lives. BioWare that you love, before the EA era, is long gone. After Inquisition, this is not the BioWare you know and love.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
I
it's this weird thing. Like, you know, I hate this whole blame the media approach. Like, no, don't fucking uh don't shoot the messenger.
We are angry for a reason. It's because you guys are ruining good games because profit, basically.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a really downer news to end on. So instead, I have prepared one last news story.
okay. Prepare first.
Uh
I have one word last for Anthem.
yeah.
Before this story comes out, I would just brush away Anthem. I'm just say I have no expectations from the game. I got excited a bit from my first impressions playing it, and then during the review of the Triton 5, I did try 4 hours of Anthem. It did not do a good job of grabbing me. There are a lot of issues, but I think that's par for the course. It is expected. But now that this sort of stories came out, this has to be in our most disappointing game talk later this year. This has to be just to put a message. Just because of the whole debacle surrounding it. Now I'm disappointed. You could have been at least do a mediocre game just because of your incompetence, but this is much worse than I expected.
This is fucking asshole response.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, so our real last news story for the Florida man arrested for impersonating Nickelback drummer.
Yeah, another Florida man.
Florida, man.
Listen, man, this is my new gimmick. Is when the news gets too depressing, I'm gonna whip out a Florida man.
I think there's a Florida Man article for every day in the year.
Probably,
Yeah, that
especially now that
Reddit for Florida
now
man.
that yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
That explains it a lot.
45-year-old Lee Howard Koenig of Port St. Lucie, Florida, was arrested on 2 felony fraud-related charges. He illegally ordered and purchased $25,000 in music equipment from Austria and did so by assuming the identity of Nickelback drummer Danial Adair.
Look at this photo.
In other news, Daniel Adair is glad that someone remembers a member of Nickelback that isn't Chad Krieger. Okay, so with that ends this week. We just have the thumbnail discussions, I guess.
Nothing pops up.
Nothing pop-ups. Ultraman with the katana blade again.
Okay,
Yeah.
put the
That
Ultraman.
one.
I want to put the Vault Hunters from Borderlands 3, but I do not know what context. But I'll put it there. Just for the for the clickbaits.
Just for the clickbaits, that SEO, that sweet SEO.
Oh man, since we did that, sponsor us, how about put in there HRT, this could be you sign. Kan?
And we need something F1 related here.
There is F1
Ferrari logo spinning on the podium.
Can I just put a red bottle spinning or something like that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
The bottle put a Ferrari logo.
Make it less ambiguous. No, make it more ambiguous.
And
we
then
put Charles Leclerc there. We put Vettel.
and then I guess we have to put in the word cyber game.
Yeah,
We have to call it like
the
this episode needs to be called Cyber Edition.
Cyber. We'll see about it. And then what's left is the
Okay, so cut. End the episode already. Let us die.
Twice.
Hey, so follow me on Twitter at Wamerl or chuck me money on Patreon, patreon.com/Wamerl. If you do, I'll have more money to buy games, and then I can review niche shit. Nothing like due to come out soon for me, I guess. But like I said, chuck money at me, and then maybe I'll buy stupid shit, and we can have some fun reviewing that. Also, don't forget to sponsor if you're interested in sponsoring the podcast. You know, we should set
This
up a pay.
podcast is brought to you by.
Yeah, we'll chill anything. We'll...
Buku putih.
Nope.
Oh,
Accept that.
I have
I'll
some.
chill for Ibadah if it's possible. Ibadah, please sponsor us.
I banyak.
Oh my god, this is way too local for the international listeners. But yeah, support local.
Support local, man. Also, if you're a local convention, and you have special interest panels, consider having us on. Daniel.
Alright, you can follow me on Twitter, Fleeky. That's FL4KY_. And
Like the Borderlands character.
not the Borderlands character.
Okay, can we put a petition for you to put like as your DP picture on Twitter for 1 month also? During September.
During September, yeah, boleh. During September boleh.
So people will anticipate your appearance on Borderlands 3.
Oh god, damn. I have nothing else to say. Oh, besides Sultan of Johor having a car in the Blompay GT Asia.
Mm-hmm.
We wish them good luck again.
Oh yeah, for the luck of the Dia.Log, we have to wish him good luck. Daulat Tongko. Remember that time? Man, recurring jokes coming by Anan.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at AzureAzmuth, AZUREAZMUTH, and then you can DM me your imaginary stand name, Stando.
The rare plugin from Anan. And I have been Amizul Macronas Ashraf. The Acer Predator Triton 500 review is up on gamermatters.com. We will be adding more. No, we will be covering more Bloodlines 2 or Borderlands 3 news as they come.
As it comes, I guess.
So, there you go. We have
Get
an
the fuck
episode. The door is over there.
Make sure to come next time. Yeah. Also, don't be afraid to like message us on Twitter for suggestions of topics, because I do quite like derailing this podcast with random shit. So send us any weird news that you want covering in, because the games industry is depressing. Yeah.
Okay. Just remember Borderlands 3. We have mechs! You can pilot a mech! You can... the mech!
Okay, cut. End the episode already. Let us die.
Twice.
Okay, so are we done? Do we have an episode?
Yeah, that is an episode.
Yeah.